All right, so this is day 3 in San Salvador. I never got to show you the terrace to the Airbnb. It's dope. It got a lot of plants and it got a nice view of the street. Check this out. And I was hungry, so I decided to get some breakfast from the spot that I passed yesterday. It's called Le Cafe. It was really good. I'm a pescatarian, so I got the breakfast, the típico breakfast, and it was good. Then I went over to the art museum. It was pretty quiet. I didn't see any other cars. This was an interesting entrance to an art museum. I don't think I've seen one similar to this, but look at that view in the background, all those mountains and palm trees. I went inside. The entrance was like $5, and the art museum wasn't huge, but it was really, really interesting. It got all types of different pieces of art from Salvadoran artists. They had traditional pieces. They also had a lot of modern art as well. This stuff was so different. It reminded me of Salvador Dali. It was real cool. And then I saw this Call of Duty room made of cotton. The entire room was made of like cotton. And they had sculptures. This thing was super cool. And then I saw that they had like an interactive video game in there too. I decided to play it. It was designed like Super Mario Brothers, but going through El Salvador. And then I went downstairs and they had some history pieces from different cultures that arrived in El Salvador. This is the front. They had some cool palm trees. It looked like ruins, and then the naked guy in the front. After I left the art museum, I went down to kind of peep the mountains. I took a few pictures out there, and it was real romantic, real laid back, real cool. It was raining, and as I'm walking, I realized just to the left of me was a mall. There was a Nike store, a Lululemon, and a few other shops. Then I decided to get a massage at this spa. It was pretty cheap. I decided to get the hot stone massage because I always like hot stone massages. They always the best. She knew exactly what she was doing, and I'll definitely have to run it back. I left a good tip and then headed out to the next museum. Y'all, make sure you leave tips whenever you go to different countries because the currency difference, you could definitely afford it. All right, so then for this museum, this was the Museum of Anthropology. I like to visit every kind of different museum whenever I go to other countries to kind of get a knowledge of their history. And I was really surprised to find out that Salvadorans share much of the same ancestry and indigenous people as Mexicans and parts of Guatemala. And I think Honduras as well. Anyways, I was in this room. This was the woodwind instrument room. And then I went outside to check out the outside. There wasn't much going on. These masks were pretty crazy. They were some freaky masks, I ain't gonna lie. The museum was pretty much under construction, so a lot of stuff was still being renovated. But I did like this room. They were talking about the different causes of death and rituals of death and life in El Salvador. This exhibit would have been cool if it was open, but it was closed. There was nothing in there, and it kind of pissed me off because this is the exhibit for the black descendants living in El Salvador, which is a major piece of their history. And I asked if they were doing away with the exhibit or if they were just renovating it. The security guard assured me that they were just renovating it and adding more to it. So we'll see when I come back. I started walking around Zona Rosa and I caught this bird and it caught a lizard. It was pretty cool. So this was a Sunday, so Zona Rosa was pretty boring. There wasn't much going on, so I headed back to the Centro Historical. I went to this pupusa shop, Pupuseria Cheli. You already know that they had every single flavor pupusa you could think of. Oh my goodness, I went to town. And the prices, crazy. I tried this ginger lemonade. It was fire. It was hand squeezed, and I was actually surprised to see this on the menu. They had more than this flavor as well. And then the pupusas came. Oh, look at those. Look at those. I tried 3 different ones. I got beans, jalapenos, and cheese. I think loroco or spinach and tuna. They had tuna as well. Man, they were so fire, every single one. Then I went to the biblioteca. This is probably one of the biggest libraries I've ever seen. It looks like a mall. So you walk in and there's multiple floors. I went to the second floor. On the second floor, they had all kinds of themes. They had like a kids area, Legos. They even had Super Mario where you can play the video games. Very internet cafe style. It was pretty cool. Look at that from the top. Wow. And then we headed over to the other side. They had all the comic books. So DC, Marvel. They even had Pokemon. and a few other superheroes. I walked up closer to get a closer look because I thought this was really, really interesting. I had never seen nothing like this in the library before. And then I got to the very end, we saw Darth Vader and Deadpool. And there was some Dragon Ball Z there too. Then I went to the other side and I saw an entire Harry Potter section. I thought this was the dopest thing ever. It had the Hogwarts, Gringotts, like all the different stories. And then they had Game of Thrones. And then just on the other side, they had Star Wars. Like, what? They had everything here. I haven't even seen the whole place yet, and this is by far one of the coolest libraries that I've ever seen. Look at C3PO. And then I went to the other side, and there's a bonsai. And then there's a Bitcoin section. It tells you about what's going on with cryptocurrency, and they even have somebody there to teach you. What? Look at this Bitcoin area. Like a one-on-one session showing you how to do Bitcoin. They really care about the success of the people in this city. This is a pretty standard library area where you can just do your work, get a book, read, and then there's a little lounge area with a view of the Centro where you can just come, lounge, chill, grab a coffee, and just overlook everything. These are two terraces that I think do open, but I think they're just not open right now. I swung around the book area, and it's crazy because this entire library has like a 360 view of the city. You can see the mountains, you can see the tops of the businesses, and if you look far enough, you can see the houses. I went up to the third or fourth floor, I forgot. But as soon as you get up there, it's like an internet cafe, like the ones we saw earlier. But this one, pretty much the entire floor, you can grab a computer, play a video game, and then if you swing around to the other side right here, you see that there's the terrace, the very top terrace, and the view is insane. You can, just come out here, see the cathedral and see the mountain. It's a crazy view. I will say this, it wouldn't matter what pictures or videos you take, nothing would do it justice other than seeing it in person. I can zoom in and you can see the mountains, but it's nothing like seeing it in real life. I went down to the first floor and there was a cafe down there, like coffee shop for real. And there was also this gift shop where they sell handmade goods from children who are orphans or something like that. Like they don't have parents or good homes, so they make these art pieces, and whenever you buy one, they get money to support them.
Y dijiste que eran niños que los...
Ajá, niños y adolescentes, o sea, menores de edad.
And then I headed over to the front of the library where they have this El Salvador sign up. I think it's cool. Then I decide to foot it all around the Central District. Look at this Burger King. It looks crazy. It's super advanced. And of course, other countries stay having the Naruto Whopper. It was still earlier in the day, so I was able to walk around while the sun was still out. You could see how the buildings, you could just tell that they kind of been through some things. They're definitely Spanish style. But the city was rough, man, and you can still see reminiscence of that. But it's great to see that something's new being born out of the ashes from what the city went through. These people all went through stuff. The locals living here all been through things. My Uber driver said that people used to stand on top of these buildings with guns, and a lot of people would randomly catch fire. So it's good to see that it has become one of the world's safest cities in such a short amount of time, from being one of the world's most dangerous cities. So I can't wait to come back and visit again and see what they do with these buildings that were once abandoned or neglected, and see how they can make such a revival of their downtown. By this time, the sun has went down completely and it was starting to get dark out. The street lights came out and I wanted to explore a little bit more. I decided to kind of get out of my comfort zone and go into the areas which kind of looked a little unsafe, just so I could actually get a full scope of what the area looked like. There were still some parts that were not renovated, and you could tell were a little bit not as advanced. You would see less people walking in this area, so I'm assuming It was a little bit more dangerous at some point in time. Pulling your camera out like this in neighborhoods that look unsafe is probably not the best idea. I would never recommend anybody do this. There's not many people walking here, and this is clearly not a tourist area. But like I said, I do this so I can show you the full scope, the full story. You don't want to get a half story. I need y'all to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. This city doesn't have much ugly at all. It's a very, very safe city, despite how it looks in these videos. But at the same time, you can never be 100%. Please be safe, make good decisions when you're traveling. I also don't completely look like a foreigner, if you will. I do kind of blend in, but again, I wanted to kind of get up out this area and get back to the Centro just so I can see whatever I missed. So I headed back that way. As you see, there's shops now and there's more people walking. This was a cool little Asian shop that sold pretty much stuff you see on like Shein and Temu. I wanted to look around and see if there was anything I liked or if there's any like souvenirs I can get. But honestly, I don't think I wanted anything. But I went to the Burger King right after and I saw the Naruto and Sasuke burgers. Those are super cool. And then the Burger King, believe it or not, also had a bakery inside. Like not no little cake shop, but a full bakery. And then I wanted to get something to eat because I was hungry and I didn't want to eat Burger King while I was on vacation. So my friend invited me into his restaurant near the cathedral, and it was really nice. This restaurant was top tier. I told him that I was gonna eat here, but I wanted to record a little bit because I have a YouTube channel, and he told me to follow him. He's gonna show me something cool. So he opens up this bookshelf, and boom, it's a whole speakeasy down here. He told me hit him up next time I come with some friends, and he'll hook up the whole speakeasy for us, and we can just hang out down here away from the rest of the crowd. Y'all, I forgot to tell you the name of the restaurant. It's called Teatro de Lucas. And the story goes, Lucas is a dog that's like a stray dog that everybody loves. He pretty much is able to walk around El Salvador without no smoke. Everybody loves him. Everybody shows him love. So they named the restaurant after him. It's called Teatro de Lucas. This was the most expensive meal from the time I got here, but look at how much you get. You get the salmon, the vegetables, the bread, you get the rice, and you get a salad. Teatro de Lucas, that's what it's called. And then I got the Peroni. Now for this entire meal right here, now in US money, is not that expensive. I probably pay the same amount just going to a regular restaurant, but here it's pretty high. So I think I might have spent $25 and then like $30 with a tip. So it's not stupid expensive. Again, cheap prices for the US, but over there it's pretty expensive. So I went ahead and dressed it up. I got the hot sauce. I got the whatever sauce this was for my salad. I laced it up on the rice, and I had my salmon. I went ahead and squeezed the lemon on my salad, and I had my sparkling water too. So check, this is the meal right here. Oh, it was so delicious. The veggies were cooked perfectly, seasoned well. The salmon was cooked to perfection. It was flaky, but it was real tender. Yeah, I really enjoyed this meal right here. This was the big meal. This was a big meal. Everything was good. Then afterwards, the owner of the restaurant told me to follow the waitress. She walked me around the corner and told me that they have another spot, and it has a rooftop. So I walked past this burger joint. She took me to the side, and then we went over to this karaoke bar. So then we got to the stairs. She walked me up to the stairs. It was beautiful. They had plants and stuff going upstairs. See? After this, I went home. Check out that view though. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.